Hello, and welcome to Art on the Farm with me as Sage and Jan, brought to you by the Monroe Area Council for the Arts. Now, today we are going to be looking at watercolors, and we're going to be using a watercolor palette that has the color in little color cakes or little color solids. And some of my adult students or my older students often feel like when they think of watercolor as a solid, they think of the little bitty watercolor packets that younger students get, and it can serve its own purpose. There's nothing wrong with using that when you're starting and exploring. So don't be afraid to play with that and start with that as well. A lot of times I'll recommend using the color cakes to start with because one, they're not super expensive most of the time. Even this one, though it has a wide variety, you want to look and make sure it's non-toxic and make sure that it conforms to what they call the ASTMD, which will be right here on the label. 4236. ASTMD 4236 is what you want to look for. And that just shows that it's gone through a standard of testing. It doesn't have anything toxic in it. So if you lay it down to go do something else and the cat wanders through and drinks the water, or the dog wanders through or drinks the water, or kid or grandkid decides to put it on as face paint, you're not going to end up in trouble with that. There are some colors with some professional paints that actually have toxic materials in them. If you think about it, in nature, the colors that are the brightest are the colors that are the most dangerous, and they're actually a warning to predators. Hey, don't eat me because I'm going to make you really sick, or hey, don't get near me, my bite could kill you, that kind of thing. And so those colors taken from nature in some professional paints can be a little bit dangerous if you're not careful with them. And so that's why you want to look for that ASTMD 4236. This is a non-toxic, and this is perfectly safe to use with kids and with people who are just learning. And so that's what we're doing today. We're going to play, and we're going to see what we come up with. We're going to be playing with bubbles today. And so I have just a nice, a really long tipped brush, a flat brush, and I'm going to put that into my water. Just have an old can here. I like to clean them for this kind of thing. And then I know that I can throw it away and not worry one bit about it. Also makes my dishes so much easier when I'm done with my painting. And I am making a nice circle, as perfect as I can get it. Not super worried about it. If you are somebody who does worry about it, you want a perfect circle, things like a baby food jar top or something similar would be perfect for something like that. Notice there's no paint on this. It's just wet. This would be called a wet on wet technique. Now that we have the wet surface, we're going to choose a nice little color here. Oh, these are going to be nice colors for a solid. This particular one is by Sargent Art. We're going to let that just bleed right out. See how that likes to grow? I'm going to put it around my edge, and I'm going to let that grow. You really can't see how it wants to grow. Let me see what I can do here for you. Sorry about that. Not a lot going on there. Just a little bit. Now, okay. And that's just going to kind of grow out, build out. I want you to do what you can to avoid making the entire circle for it. Try to do what you can to avoid making the entire circle. I'm just going to dampen my brush. And now I'm going to go over that just again, the damp brush, following that all the way around. My goal is to preserve some of the white on the page, to allow for some of that white to stay, because that's going to allow that bubble to have that floaty look to it. Now I'm going to choose another spot to make another bubble. I'm going to go on and use my dirty blue brush already. And go on and use my dirty blue brush already. And go all the way around here. Again, completely filling in my bubble with just clear water. There's an ever so slight hint of the blue that I had before, but not much, not much. And now I'm going to add just a little bit of purple to that. So I'm going right on to my color cake, my solid color. Just put my brush right on there. And now I'm going to go on to that wetness. Not completely filling it in. Oh, there we go. Not completely filling it in. And I'm going to go over that with some water as well. Try your best to preserve just a little bit of the white. It's going to give it a nice airy, floaty look. A nice airy, floaty feeling. And then right down here, I'm going to go again. Now, as you're choosing your colors, ooh, that's going to be a bigger one. That's exciting. Okay. As you choose your colors, be mindful of what colors go really nicely together. If you need to go back and review your color wheel, you most certainly may want to do that. So I'm going to go on and choose more of a warm color this time. Notice I have an area of a higher concentration and an area of a lower concentration on the bubble. I can go through and I can allow just little accents of this color to come into the purple. That's not going to muddy up or give a bad look. But I want to be really careful about this color with the blue, because we know that the yellowy orange like that with the blue, if they mix too much, you're going to have a green bubble. So just be aware. Remember your color theory, what colors go well together and what colors don't. I'm going to start over here, area of lower concentration of color, and then I'll go right into my area of higher concentration of color so that I can still maintain a nice mix of darker to lighter. All right. Odd numbers tend to look good in art, so I say we do 2 more. We have 5. 5 is a nice odd number here. I'm going to do a little baby right here. Because that has some kind of yellow-orange in it. I know that that color plays really well with a kind of a red. So I'm going to give this one just a bit of red. Ooh, that one really shot out, really blended out nicely. I think even though I tell you to never be afraid, oftentimes I still make some mistakes. I think I was a little afraid to add enough water on there because of the angle that I'm showing you things. So that one just blended out really nicely. I hardly had to do anything there. Just need to work on that border a little bit more. Oh, what a wonderful. That was a bubble that just made itself. That was great to see. I'm so glad we didn't stop at 3. I'm glad we got to see that. All right. One more. Where shall it be? Where shall he be? I feel like it would make it complete to do one more right up here as well. Just doing those nice little circular motions. Now I have a lot more confidence. I know that I can add water. I know it can give a really nice, neat look. A color decision. I may go with green this time. So I've got my cake of color. Got a little green going here. And that's going to start pulling right out. Right into the bubble. Again, be mindful. You want to preserve a bit of the white as you go around. You can always add, but it's very hard to take away. That one's going to pop right out really nicely too. And give it a minute. Let it have a little bit of time to smear out in there. So this is something that happens really well, as you can tell, right here and right here particularly, because I got more and more confident with the amount of water that I was putting on. And it smears out or blurs out because the color that contains water is going out, smearing out, and blurring out with the water that we've already prepped in the circle before you ever add color. So these bubbles are a really fun thing to try. Don't be afraid to explore with your color. And you'll notice, don't be afraid to explore with watercolor that is in a solid. Like this one, this particular one was from the brand of Sargent Art. They usually do a really nice, really nice starter colors. And so, and this is proven to have some really nice starter colors to it. Now you're equipped to go out and explore with some wet on wet bubbles with watercolor. Thank you so much for exploring with us, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Art on the Farm with Mia Sage and Jan. This was brought to you by the Monroe Area Council for the Arts. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye!